Gwen Jewett. She's a coordinator with the Historic Upshur Museum. I don't have a biography for her because I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about herself before she gets started. She's been there about 3 years, and if you haven't been to the museum in the last 3 years or so, then you haven't been to the museum. But I'll let her talk to you. Again, Ms. Gwen Jewett.
It's on, huh? Okay, hi everybody. My name is Gwen Jewett, and I am the coordinator at the Historic Upshur Museum. I've been there for about 3 years. This month, it'll be 3 years. I came to the museum in, I believe, 2005, working as a docent, working with Joy and Camille Valente. Those two ladies talked so much about the museum, and oh, they knew so much history about the museum. I just was a terrible history student, so I was soaking it all in. And little did I know, she says, hey, you could do this job. I want to do something else. And I accepted, and the board members agreed, so that's where I've been. Bear with me, this is so new to me, because I always think someone that's been at the museum a long time should be up doing this presentation. But since I've been working there, you know, I've come to know a lot of the citizens who come in and out of the museum. They just come in and talk to me and give me brief histories of different things going on in the community. And these people, the volunteers and our membership base, they really want this place to stay there. They want the museum to be what it is, a place for visitors and the local people to come in and get a little glimpse of what Upshur County's start was, navigate through the museum, see a little bit of the history, and up to present day. I'm sure you're all familiar with the Jamboree, celebration of the sweet potato. So the building itself, built 1925, it's an old building, yes it is, and we've had problems. The roof, one thing, the basement, another thing, and just the basic operating expenses, the utilities, and our computer systems, the software. So, you know, over the last 3 years, we've kind of upgraded, thanks to the community's support and donations. We have had the roof repaired, not fixed, so it's still leaking in different places. And there's water damage still throughout the building, but we've upgraded our software and our database. We also have set up a GoFundMe website, and with that, you know, it's just been sort of stagnant. I know back in the day when the museum was first established as a museum in '93, those ladies that worked really hard, the Sarah Dumases, the Sarah Greens, the Mary Kirby's, there's a whole slew of people that, you know, put a great effort into the organization of the museum. What you see when you go in there, the storyboard that starts out with the Caddo Indians and walk around. Let me just stop and ask, who has not been to the museum? Can I see a show of hands? Just a few of you, and that's good. But have you been there recently? No, because your faces really look familiar, and I kind of talk with my people as citizens as they come in and out. So I encourage you to stop by when you get a chance. It's all about preservation, you know, preserving the building. So that's what we're doing, is just maintaining. We have not been active in promoting programs that are provided through the Texas Historical Commission, because we don't have the funding. You always have to put up money to receive something. But we do have certain fundraisers, and we just went through one with the antique fair, and that netted us about a little over $3,000. So there is, you know, with the membership base and a lot of community support. And I just want to thank some of these programs or organizations in advance, because like you, the Rotary Club, I know I've seen your organization on our books since 2009, and you're a major contributor. The 20th Century Club, Preceptors, Pi Nu, the Gilmer National Bank. The City of Gilmer is a great supporter of ours. They go beyond, I think, whenever we ask, they mostly deliver. Stewart Insurance and Realty, the Glenwood, Texas Extension Education Support. These people and organizations are ones that we really count on you to give us a donation yearly. Iris Garden Club, the Pace Setter Beauty Salon, Gilmer Eye Care, Upshur, First National Bank. Now we get donations too from other people. I don't know if you know or not, but Don Henley, yes, the little musician, he sent us $1,000. We had Benny Turner come and do a book signing right after the Jamboree, and we got half of his sales for t-shirts and CDs. It was a small amount, $300, but it helped. We also have matching gifts from the ExxonMobil company, a $500 donation that a member submits to Exxon, and they match that donation. Those type of donations from Dolores Howard and Julie Slocum. What else can I say here? Okay, the active membership is something that we really need to really work on. You know, $20 to $150, those are good, but they come in once a year. We really need some great donations. And getting that, I think our publicity is low. Not too many people know about us. So we've been active in trying to get our website up, which we do have. There was a gentleman, Case Photography, had donated all of these negative glass plates to the museum. And I think the museum at some point was depending on money, revenue from that. If we put those pictures out there, people would see those and they say, oh, I want that picture, and we would charge them X amount of dollars for those pictures. But that's not happening. The pictures are out there, they have a watermark on them, people scan through and they see, and which is good. That's what you want to do, is put the information out there. But with technology as it is now, you can't keep up. If they want something, they will find another way to make it visible for them. So with that website up, we still get a lot of recognitions. We're on Facebook. Facebook all the time, it's a huge thing. All the notifications, all of this, I'm forever delete. Don't know who to be friend, who not to be friend. So it's a big mess, and I'm not a social media type of person. I hardly ever check my phone or email, that kind of stuff. But I see that what we need is younger people. We really need to get into the school system and grab some of those freshmen, sophomore, juniors, seniors out. Somehow work it with that. So if you have any influence with the school superintendents or anyone in that position that can offer us some students to come into the museum to help us with this social media type things, because it is a big thing and it will, I think, lead to more revenue and exposure, because we about to tell everything on Facebook, right? Okay, so another way that we can get access visibly is, you know, the county has a website, the city has a website, Chamber of Commerce, Gilmer Mirror. All of these sites are in our community. So if you just add a link, just add our link to your website. So they're in the county, wherever they're at, if they see us, they can click on us and move through our website and move through the database. The database sits on top of our website, so right now all I have in there really is the Hayes photos, but it is something, and eventually we can put up our board members, which I see a few out here. We have 13 board members, by the way, and our bylaws say we could have up to 24, so there's room, you know, just throwing it out there. And Carolyn Marshall is our current president. Steve Stewart is our treasurer. And we have a great team of board members. So, what else can I tell you? Oh, I wanted to mention some of the older people that have come through the museum, and you may know them, and some of them may be deceased. But this is the part, I think, that we should pay attention to because of the preservation of the museum. It's not so much as all the stuff that's in there. The building is registered as a historical landmark, so we want to do all we can to make it look nice and snippy, and if you look at it now, it looks good, but there's room for improvement. The dormers at the top could be painted and sprayed, and all of that, you know, goes back to money. These people, Mary Lee Baird, Virginia Carroll, Sarah Green, Daisy Potter, Runell Stembridge, you guys recognize these names, I don't. But I did talk to Sarah Dumas. I believe she's the oldest that would come off of this list. And she lives, you know, she's still living and lives out of town. And she's always, when I talked to her, she said, what are you guys doing with financing? What are your board members doing to get the word out that you need help in maintaining? Because that's what we're doing. We're maintaining. There's not enough money, I don't think, in anybody's pocket to come up with a new roof. Unless Bill Gates or somebody, can you hear me? That kind of thing, you know. Okay, but maintaining is important because if we see a problem, we address it right away. And with that old building, we have to do that. Our board members, again, I just want to say that they work really hard. I'll give you a few names. We have Suzanne Capel, Peggy Clevenger, Bet Connolly, Jane Davis, Phil Davis, Bridget Fowler, has resigned from our board. She was our president in 2017, and she's moving on. I think she's moving. Mr. Fowler, you would know, your new house. Congratulations. Okay, Carolyn Marshall, who is our current president. Amy Patterson, who does our exhibit presentations. Butch Ragland, Jane Robertson, Betty Slocum, Steve Stewart, and Brenda Westall. So out of the 13, again, we need, you know, some more. We just added Brenda Jeffries to our board just last board meeting. A little about the finances. Mr. John Dean did our taxes this year, and we have a low budget. You know, I only work 16 hours over there at the museum, and I feel I volunteer more than that, double, and the same goes for the board members. We all do what we can to keep the place going. But his numbers, just given the information that I gave him, the revenue contributions were at a little over 9,700. Do I wish it was 97? Yes. Okay, our investment income, $4,370. So the gross $4,700 and direct expense $3,500. That's not going to get us very far. So we are really in a financial situation. Like I said, the city does support us, but we do really need some funding from the county, which leads me to another story. The county, I have two hats at the museum. Their coordinator and I work totally volunteer with the county judge position of the county chair for the historical commission. Now that group have 7 members on that team, and we all support the museum. I mean, for whatever the historical commission information they provide to us as far as what can we do to better our museum, classes to help you with research on genealogy or history, communities, cemeteries, schools, all of that comes from the Texas Historical Commission. So that's kind of double duty. But I did fill out their report that they asked me to, asking about how the museum is doing. It's a lengthy report, and I don't want to go over it in time, I know. But if you want to come by the museum, please do, and I can share this with you. Okay, and it just states, you know, where we get our funding from, how many hours, volunteer hours we do, what programs that do we support. You know, right now we're in the process, this is in addition to the museum because we work so closely together with the Historical Commission in funding the Dixon Orphanage cemetery plaques, in repairing historical markers and identifying unmarked cemeteries, that type of thing. So it's a lengthy thing, and it takes a lot of volunteers to work on this because it is totally volunteer. No one's getting paid for this. The museum pays me a 16 hours a week, so everything else is volunteer, and I appreciate that. I can ask right now, is there any questions? I know I went through it pretty fast. I hope I gave you enough to make you want to come by, take a look at the museum, and, you know, where you have influence to ask someone for donations, please do. We take the memorials. There's all sorts of memorials that come in. When citizens pass away, the banks, Stewart Insurance, just different people will give different amounts of donations on behalf of their loved ones. But again, we still need more, as always. And as a nonprofit, we're always looking for that.
Do you have changing exhibits? Do they change?
We do not change our exhibits out as often as we would like because of the funding, but you can be assured that we do change it out during the Jamboree because we always have the girls' dresses who were there last year, the previous year there. And that's always a big attraction. Like now, Miss Carol and I were talking about doing a war exhibit back there this time of year, not just the Civil War and the different wars. We're trying to encompass all of it, where there's a disparity in, you know, different groups of people and whatever the country is presented like that. Back in February, the previous February, we had a big Black History Month display where we did Valley View and Bruce School and talked a little about the Dixon Orphanage, and KETK came down. We were in the paper. It was really great. This year, not much exposure. I did have a young lady come over with a quilt that had a lot of Black African American figures on it, and she kind of went through that, which was really exciting. But we do need to change out our exhibits, I would say, more often. We really dedicated to the Jamboree mostly, but we should, and we can't do it alone with the staff I have. We need more volunteers to help us do that. Hence, if you have time to become a board member, then you can bring those ideas up and spread that. Other than that, that's all I have. Any more questions?